We've all played hide and seek when we were kids, but some of us were more successful at hiding than others. Wait until you see some of the biggest hide and seek fails, including some that are unintentionally terrifying. Don't forget to subscribe to the things and give this video a big thumbs up if you got scared. Now let's get to the 20 kids who are absolutely terrible at hide and seek. This cutie. This is probably the cutest thing you've ever seen. Kids have this strange hide and seek theory because they think that if they don't see people, people can't see them either. We wish it would work this way. This little adorable girl hid in the bathroom, but instead of finding some interesting places, she just covered her eyes with the bathroom towel. Sure, it's a good idea in theory, but in real life, this just won't work, kid. Although we have to admit that she's completely adorable, so her hide and seek abilities are totally excused. And trust us, it'll only get better. PEEKA-BOO. Seriously, you can tell some of these kids wanted to come up with the best hiding spot ever. A Lego box? That could work, but this kid really underestimated her size compared to the box. Still, her intentions were there, okay? We want to know if she was actually surprised how her parent was able to find her so quickly. This one is quite clever, but sorry kid, you can't fit in tiny boxes anymore. She'll have to find a bigger Lego box if she'll want to hide in it and trick people. They're really growing up so fast, aren't they? Boxed up. Now this kid had the right idea when it comes to hide and seek. If you want to hide somewhere, you at least have to find the right sized box, right? So he definitely gets a bonus point for at least thinking he's going to be in the right direction with his hiding spot. But here's the part the kid didn't quite understand. After you find the right sized box, you also need to make sure it's not see-through. Seriously, this one is actually really clever, but it has terrible execution. Just imagine his poor face when he realized that his seeking spot wasn't so amazing after all. 2 is better than 1. But what's even better than a kid totally missing the point of hide and seek? 2 kids totally missing the point of hide and seek. Seriously, this one is such a fail, it's actually pretty funny. It makes things look even better because the kids look like they're almost wearing the same clothes. This time, the curtain's a little bit longer, but it still didn't manage to go all the way down to their toes to truly hide them. Whose idea do you think it was? Our money's on the kid on the right, and the brother just played along. A basket case. Now this is a true basket case. Seriously, it's just kind of sad these kids just can't get it right. This kid has the right idea. Even the execution wasn't this bad. Except the kid forgot to hide their legs underneath the basket too. Maybe they were scared to fully close it, which is smart thinking. And they could probably get away with it if their parents saw the basket from the other side, but either way, this is pretty hilarious. Just look at those adorable feet sticking out of the basket. Come to think of it, the kid probably took a nap during this hide and seek game too. Kid Alligator. Now we're talking. This hide and seek solution is one of the most amazing ones we've ever seen, and the kid could have pulled it off, but of course, in practice, this just doesn't work. It probably would make more sense to use the alligator and lay it down while hiding behind it, but this way is just much more entertaining. Just imagine finding this in your room and noticing the kid's arms hugging the alligator like this. It's definitely not a hide and seek case anymore, but a hide and scare case, and this kid totally nailed it. This princess. We're getting there now. This little princess, well, or prince, had the right idea. Sure, hiding under a blanket works, right? But you also need to make sure you're actually laying down instead of just randomly sitting. This kid was probably really disappointed when they realized just how terrible their hiding place was, but they do get a bonus point because this was actually really cute. We just hope the parent didn't laugh too hard when they saw the strange blanket person sitting on the bed. You know what? We'll give them another bonus point because the blanket is really cute and we really love Disney. Can't see me. Here's another example of a kid that thinks if they can't see you, you can't see them. This concept is totally adorable and it definitely makes hide and seek more hilarious, but it's also really, really bad. Just look at this adorable child. He's standing behind a pole and he thinks that's all he has to do to become invisible? How cute is this? Unfortunately, some kids have all the baby weight that definitely makes it harder for them to hide like this. But good try though. We just hope he wasn't too disappointed when his parent was able to find him so quickly. Hide under the carpet. Okay, now this one is just ridiculous. This kid definitely didn't think this through. Sure, lying underneath the carpet is cute, but it's definitely not a hide and seek strategy you should employ. Well, at least if you don't want people to find you. It looks cute, but seriously, hiding under the carpet, and not only that, the carpet's clearly not big enough for this guy. This is a total fail, and this kid's definitely terrible at hide and seek. He didn't even lie down, he just lied on his knees and hoped for the best. But he does get bonus points because this is pretty hilarious. This fail. Okay, it's one thing to cover up your face during hide and seek and think your parents can't see you, but this fail takes it to a new level. It's no longer just objects, it's also actual hands. How adorable is this? These kids think that if they put their hands over their eyes, they won't be seen by their parents. It doesn't help that they stayed together during hide and seek either, but they are adorable and their outfits are awesome, so we have to give them some bonus points. Don't worry, it'll only get more ridiculous now. Too adorable. But first, let us show you something that will melt your heart. This one is just too cute for words. We have a feeling it's really cold where this guy is, so this hide and seek technique is totally suitable. Sure, it might be completely bizarre, but you can't say it's not too adorable for words. Check this kid out. To hide, he simply put his oversized winter hat over his head. We just hope he wasn't able to hide before he did that and didn't take off running after this hilarious technique. Either way, you have to admit that he's completely adorable and deserves some bonus points. Sort of got it? Now we're getting there. This kid also had the right idea. Actually, they kind of sort of got it. Well, until you realize that their legs are still sticking out. This is much better than putting a box that's way too small over your head. It's also much better than hiding under a clear box. And this could almost work because we could barely see their little legs sticking out from underneath the box. If the parent tried to find them from the other side, this kid would have definitely won, but still you have to admit that it's still a pretty terrible hiding spot. These geniuses. In case you're wondering, yep, we're still playing hide and seek. We told you these kids are really, really terrible at this game. Imagine telling your kids to hide, coming to the kitchen and seeing two figures standing underneath a blanket. This is another example of hide and scare because it could have ended up in a pretty scary situation. But no, it's just kids that really don't know how to play hide and seek. Seriously, it's even worse that they decided to hide together. Here's the first hide and seek lesson, kids. Never hide in pairs because it really never works out the way you want to. Closet. The never hide in pairs rule also applies to these two cuties. These two got the right idea, but then they totally ruined it by not climbing in the closet and actually closing the door behind them. Perhaps they realized they are actually really afraid of closets? Either way, this sort of thing makes hide and seek a really easy game, so always remember the rules to not being found. Find a hiding spot, actually try to hide, and tell your sibling to go somewhere else. Seems simple, right? Well, not if you're this next kid. Bathroom. Do you remember the very first bathroom photo we showed you? The little girl hidden behind a curtain in an attempt to hide, but it barely covered her eyes? Well, this kid is definitely better, but not that much better. The kid used the bathroom step to make sure he's totally hidden, and this time the curtain was actually long enough to cover most of his body. But yet, you could still clearly see he's there, so we can only give him half a point for his creativity. This could have easily fooled us if it wasn't for that hand trying to close the curtain. Hide and feet. What is it with these kids in hide and seek? Are they really this scared to fully close the door? Do they not know that that's how you lose the game? We've already seen the two kids in their attempt at hiding in a wardrobe, but this is way better than that. Although it is pretty adorable to see these tiny feet sticking out from the cupboard. It's even better when you realize that he's actually so small he could probably fit inside the cupboard. Or maybe he realized he couldn't and that's why his feet are sticking out. Either way, this is not how you play hide and seek. Lego fort. Okay, this one is just too adorable for words. What's better than hiding in a closet, a cupboard, or under the carpet? How about hiding in an epic Lego fort? This kid seriously had the right idea, but of course you also have to make sure that this fort is actually fully enclosed. Otherwise, your parent could easily see you if they come from the side. So while we're definitely giving this kid some bonus points, the execution of the idea is still pretty terrible. Of course it is, because if it was good, it wouldn't be in our video anyway. Lamp kid. We've showed you poles, carpets, transparent boxes, and more. But what's even better than hiding behind a pole and thinking nobody can see you? Hiding behind a lamp and thinking that would ever work. Seriously, what was this kid thinking? Was he channeling his inner lamp? Because that definitely doesn't work if you want to play hide and seek. Well, it doesn't work if you want to win hide and seek anyways. But our final two hide and seek techniques are way better than this one. Both almost figured it out, but their execution is absolutely hilarious. Getting there. If you thought a transparent basket was bad, wait until you see this. We actually feel really bad for the kid because he still did way better than some of the other kids we showed you today. Finding the right size blanket? Check. Fitting in perfectly? Check. But what this kid didn't think about was the fact that this laundry basket has holes on each side. You can totally see where he is. Although we have to give the kid some credit because unless the parent had fantastic eyesight, they still wouldn't be able to see this kid through the holes. Either way, this is still completely hilarious. The Shadow Hunter. Some kids definitely fail hiding behind the curtain, but this kid was totally betrayed by nature. We can't even blame him. Imagine coming up with a fantastic hide-and-seek plan to hide behind the curtain that's actually long enough, but then the sun betrays you because you actually have no idea your shadow is visible. This is also one of those hide-and-scare moments because we have a feeling the parent was totally freaked out before they realized that it's actually their kid hiding behind the curtain. Poor child. You have to admit that it's still pretty hilarious though. And that's all for our video. What's the scariest toy you ever heard of? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.